Welcome back to the show. Rick Perry versus Mitt Romney. Who would the Obama White House rather face next year? Get both of them. First, family backgrounds. Mitt Romney, the son of a wealthy Republican governor of Michigan. Rick Perry, the son of Texas ranchers who were Democrats. Their work experience. Romney, one-term governor of Massachusetts, failed in getting the presidential nomination in 2008 and is renowned for shipping jobs overseas as founder of Bain Capital. Rick Perry, he worked for Al Gore's campaign in 1988, is a four-term governor of Texas who's never lost an election and brags about Texas job growth. Who would the White House rather face? Joining me now is Christina Bellantoni, Associate Politics Editor for Roll Call, and Perry Bacon Jr., White House reporter for the Washington Post. Perry, let me start with you. Who would the president rather be up against, in your opinion?
I think he should rather be up against Rick Perry. The thing the White House needs to make, the case President Obama needs to make in the election is that the Republicans will return the country back to George Bush and the things that people didn't like about George Bush. And Rick Perry is the most similar candidate to George Bush in that he's the governor of Texas. He's a conservative. He actually was, Bush's lieutenant governor in the 1990s. So I think it'll be a much easier case to make that this guy is the next George Bush than Mitt Romney.
Well, do you agree with that? Do you think that we can use the whole idea of this is the reincarnation of George Bush, political reincarnation, of course, and that is enough? Or can Perry fight back and say, well, I've done ABC, I was an executive, and I did job growth? I mean, do you agree with this? I'm talking to Christina.
Yeah, well, I think that Perry, his defense, can say, hey, the Bush folks don't like me all that much. They've made that very clear as I prepare to run for president here. So that's an area where he can hit back. But it is really, I mean,
so
Perry's exactly right.
So you think that he would say, Christina, that the Bush folks don't like me?
I'm sure that could be one defense. I mean, I could already see the ads now. Do we need another governor of Texas coming to Washington, right? But it's really, Perry is totally right, that it's really all about the way that the White House wants to frame this. President Obama can say anything he wants about an opponent, regardless of whether it's true. Just as they're going to say something about him, regardless of whether or not it's true. I mean, that's going to be the hard campaigning of this. So there are certain advantages for the White House to run against both Perry and Romney. Of course, they'd much prefer somebody like Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann to run against, but that's unlikely to necessarily be the case.
Well, we saw, though, that there was this story in Politico about the White House was supposedly, or at least the Obama campaign, was going to go through this whole thing of Romney being weird, and some were speculating that being that we're looking at Iowa this weekend, that maybe the Obama campaign was trying to help embellish Romney a little. You don't buy into that, Perry?
I think that they're going to start criticizing the candidates pretty early on. They're already doing that. The Obama people are, and the Democratic National Committee is, because they're trying to. Right now in Iowa, you have 9 people basically saying bad things about Obama, and Obama not defending himself. So you'll see he's doing this bus tour the next few weeks too, where he's sort of getting his own record out there and defending himself. I think this is basically about the Obama staff trying to, sort of attack all these Republicans in case one of them wins, so you don't start off fresh, next March. They want to start as early as possible defining the Republicans in a negative way. Well,
Christina, there has been those that have criticized. In fact, Mitt Romney says the president shouldn't go on that bus tour. Mitt Romney said that he should stay in Washington and make the Congress work. I mean, the president's bus tour is going to go to Iowa. So now we're going to see who gets what reaction during a bus tour through some of the same areas.
Congress is not coming back to Washington regardless of whether President Obama is here or not. So I don't think that really matters. The interesting thing is just what Perry said. They are all running against President Obama. These Republican candidates are pretty much not attacking one another. You're about to have them debate again on Thursday night. Right. I think that's when you're going to finally see them engage each other. And the White House can really step back and wait and then seize their opportunity. They are collecting all kinds of information. I talked to them before I came on. And, essentially they're saying any one of these Republicans are supporting the same economic policies that would send our country backwards. So they're going to say the exact same thing regardless of who the nominee is. For them, they want to watch them attack each other.
We're starting to see some polls, though, with Perry and Romney. Look at some of what we're seeing. One poll has Romney up 24-17 with Perry. I think that we're starting to see that the Tea Party is losing some of its, let's say, favorabilities, and in the Tea Party members, we're seeing Perry 23, Mitt Romney 22, so they're about tied there. It's going to be interesting, and we'll see where it goes. Christina Bellantoni and Perry Bacon Jr., thank you very much for joining me tonight.
Thanks.